The GameCube version is looking awfully different. Those familiar with my channel know that I hold quite the soft spot for the original GameCube version of Animal Crossing. After all, that is the version I've been focusing on for months. But I actually prefer New Leaf in terms of gameplay, even if the original is my favorite. So, with today's video, we'll finally go beyond the GameCube version and take a look at a pretty severe oversight in Animal Crossing New Leaf. This oversight actually had the potential to completely erase and destroy your entire town and game progress, with no easy way to reverse it. As such, I actually think this is one of Nintendo's most egregious oversights in any video game they've ever published. That said, let's finally dive into this exploit in Animal Crossing New Leaf. Today's topic involves the now defunct Dream Suite, which was an unlockable location on New Leaf's main street. A lot of you are likely familiar with this, but the Dream Suite essentially allowed players to upload ghost versions of their town to other players worldwide. If you thought your town layout was cool and wanted to share it with the world, you could upload a dream version of your town to Nintendo's servers, and other people could visit that town at any time. Similarly, if you were looking for inspiration or just wanted to see other villagers, you could visit other players' uploaded dream towns. This was a really neat feature, and the idea was even brought back in New Horizons, where the process works near identically. But of course, as of April 2024, the Dream Suite in New Leaf no longer functions officially due to Nintendo's shutdown of 3DS and Wii U online connectivity. Despite this, the Dream Suite was still online for over a decade, and looking at the history of how the Dream Suite functioned is the origin of today's game-breaking oversight. As mentioned, uploading your town to the Dream Suite worked by essentially taking an exact snapshot of your town at that exact time. Essentially, most of your town's save data is just copied over to Nintendo servers, including your exact time of upload and current season. The important thing to remember here is that your entire town map is not hosted online on Nintendo's servers or anything, it's just the save data associated with your town. Thus, when any player visited a dream town online, they were not actually traveling to a hosted map somewhere. Rather, the game just fetched the town information from Nintendo servers and placed that town layout on your own local copy of the game. This is why, even after Nintendo's servers shut down, if you were already inside of a dream town, you didn't get booted out since you technically only need to be online to fetch the dream town data. And typically, the game fetching a dream town and replacing your current town layout with it doesn't really matter. Nintendo took some special precautions to save your game and restrict access to certain buildings and features when visiting a dream town. First and foremost, the game forces a save whenever you connect online at the Dream Suite. And when you visit a dream town, access to the main street is usually blocked off, and you won't be able to enter certain buildings like retail or the cafe. Further, manually saving your game is disabled entirely while in a dream town. So, when you're finished exploring, exiting the dream town will just tell the game to replace the current map with your own town that it saved prior to using the Dream Suite. But what if you were able to save your game while in a dream town? I mentioned that dream towns are essentially just downloaded save files that replace your current map with the town data from the dream. So our town is actually entirely replaced right now, and Nintendo never expected you to be able to save your game while visiting a dream town. So what were to happen if you actually could save here? Somewhat surprisingly, the answer is that your entire town would be permanently overwritten with the dream town that you're currently in. This means you would immediately lose your own town with all of your villagers and items and have it replaced entirely with someone else's dream town. But luckily, there is no way to save in a dream town, and this is all hypothetical, right? Well, not exactly. About a year after the release of New Leaf, tools like Action Replay and SD card hacking were becoming increasingly popular. With these tools, you could place invalid buildings directly into your town, such as those present on Main Street, and overall corrupt a lot of data about your town. Invalid, hacked towns like these could then be uploaded to the Dream Suite for the entire world to visit. But surely Nintendo had some validity checks on what constitutes a valid town and prevented hacked towns from being uploaded, right? Indeed, not long after New Leaf's release, the Dream Suite was quickly filled with hacked and corrupted towns that innocent players could just randomly happen upon. Now, most of these hacked towns are pretty harmless and it won't hurt to just peek around at them. However, if these hacked towns contained open Main Street buildings like the photo booth, post office, or retail, this is where things get interesting. I mentioned that you can't manually save while in a Dreamtown, and while this is true, there are specific actions that force the game to autosave. Again, since Dreamtowns are essentially just modified save files running locally on your own copy, buildings like the photo booth and post office will actually work normally and take you to the appropriate locations even while inside a Dreamtown. For example, happening upon a Dreamtown and entering a photo booth that has been hacked into the town will still take you to the normal photo booth and function completely normally. From here, leaving the photo booth will glitch out the camera and dump you on Main Street, which you are never supposed to visit during a dream. In this state, the game is very confused as you are now on Main Street, but still in a Dreamtown at the same time. And unfortunately, there are a lot of ways to auto-save your game at Main Street. For example, you can actually just enter the Dream Suite again, which will overwrite your save with the Dreamtown that's currently loaded. This was indeed a permanent replacement with no easy way to restore your old town without a backup. Due to the severe nature of this exploit and how it essentially erases all of your game progress without warning, it's pretty clear why I consider this one of Nintendo's most egregious oversights. Of course, Nintendo quickly noticed this and patched it out of the game. Right? Well, yes, they did technically patch this exploit, but it took them 4 years after the game's initial release. It wasn't until the Welcome Amiibo update in 2016 that Nintendo finally revamped some of the features of the Dream Suite and actually protected your own town from being overwritten. As part of this update, Nintendo actually wiped every currently uploaded Dreamtown and changed the way Dream addresses worked. Surely this time they implemented some validity checks to prevent hacked towns from being uploaded. Well, apparently they tried with some extra save encryption, but hackers were still able to get around this and continue uploading their invalid, fully customized towns. This continued all the way to the 3DS's server shutdown in April 2024. But at least saving in these Dreamtowns would no longer replace your entire town. Speaking of Nintendo's server shutdown, there are actually backup dumps of most Dreamtowns that were uploaded on or before April 2024. This means, by simply appending your own data to these Dreamtowns with a valid checksum, you can port a lot of these Dreamtowns to actual playable save files. In this way, a lot of Dreamtowns live on even after Nintendo's server shutdown, which is pretty cool. Right now, there are about 240,000 Dreamtowns saved from the online dump, so as long as you uploaded your town at least a year before the server shutdown, there's a good chance your Dreamtown is preserved here. There are also external services that allow 3DS online connectivity, such as Pretendo, who have confirmed their interest in expanding to New Leaf. So perhaps one day we'll all be able to connect online again in New Leaf and visit these preserved Dreamtowns as they were intended. I hope you enjoyed our first short little look into Animal Crossing New Leaf. While the permanent town erasure exploit is no longer a threat, it's still crazy to me that it was left unpatched for so long and plagued innocent Dream visitors for years. Special shout out to RGeeK, who actually reached out with more information on this exploit over 6 months prior to this video's posting. As an aside, while this video is about New Leaf, I want to make it clear that I won't be abandoning the GameCube version entirely. The GameCube version is still where most of my knowledge lies, and there are many more interesting things to cover there. However, from here forth, you can look forward to videos about the entire Animal Crossing series. So who knows what the next video will cover. If you'd like to be kept in the loop on upcoming videos, you can follow me on Twitter or keep an eye on my YouTube community page where I upload teasers and trailers for each video before their release. Finally, I'd like to thank my very generous Patreon and YouTube members for making these videos possible. Special shout out to Lunascape, Lorenzo, Cynthia, Mentis98, Silly Marina, Villager, Cass, Hornet, Terumi, Benny Diddy, Pidge01, Kai D, ComfyBoy404, Japan Eat, and Tammy's Head for their continued support. And as always, thank you all for watching. Until next time.